Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, we're over here at Universal Orlando, and we are going to jump in and try to fill everyone in on how to avoid motion sickness while on your Universal Orlando vacation. And pay attention to this park right behind me, because that might have a lot to do with this video. And if you've been watching my channel, you already know I talk about getting motion sickness constantly. It's something that I myself go through. So everything in this video, I have experienced firsthand. But that's why I'm so excited. This might be one of the most videos that I am most excited about, which is really saying a lot considering it's about being nauseous. So, as always, let's go get started. All right, so to start out this video, one of the most important reasons why I'm even creating this video, specifically at Universal Orlando, let's say, compared to over in Disney World, is because when it comes to being, getting motion sickness in the parks, right? A lot of it has to do with, let's say rides that have large screens that kind of simulate you moving, right? It's just like wearing, virtual reality, glasses or goggles, whatever you want to call it. Very, very similar to that, right? A lot of times when our mind thinks that we're moving, but we're not, that is, what will cause motion sickness. Now, I also have to start this video by saying I am not a doctor. Everything in this video, is go speak with your doctor if you are trying to avoid motion sickness at Universal Orlando. This is just my experiences. From what I understand, that's really why I get motion sickness whenever I'm, believe that I'm moving, but I'm really not. Kind of messes with my mind, then I will get motion sickness. Now, of course, there are also roller coasters here, so that can throw some people off. So we will discuss roller coasters, but that's kind of what we're talking about at Universal Orlando. Now, the reason why it's important at Universal is because there are a lot more rides with motion simulator screens at this park than some of the other parks within Orlando. So it's very prevalent here. If you go online and you just do a very simple Google search, you'll see it's very prevalent for families visiting the parks, especially older millennials like myself and older. As you get a little bit older, it's kind of when the motion sickness comes in. So that's where I'm starting. That's the reason why this video is so important. Next, breaking down the park. So which park is the best if you're trying to avoid getting motion sickness while on your Universal Orlando vacation? Now, the reason why I had mentioned pay attention to Universal Studios Florida is because you'll essentially want to avoid Universal Studios Florida if you're really looking for, let's say, one park that's going to give you the best chance to get on as many rides as possible without getting motion sickness. So the best park, if you're trying to avoid motion sickness, in my honest opinion, is Islands of Adventure. The reason being is because over in Universal Studios Florida, we have 13 rides, and I would say 7 to 9 of them could potentially give you motion sickness. Now, over in Islands of Adventure, we're gonna have 18 rides, and I would say 5 to 7 of them could potentially get you motion sick. I also am including some of the roller coasters in that. So I'm the type of person where I can't do the big screens, the simulator screens, but I could do coasters. It doesn't get me sick, right? So everyone's different. So, if you're good with coasters, it's just those big screens and you can get on a couple more rides. But that's important to understand. If you're trying to avoid, really the park with the most motion simulator rides, you want to avoid Universal Studios Florida. All right, so now, of course, there's still a way to have an amazing time on your Universal Orlando vacation, even if you are prone to motion sickness. So I would say, number one, and I'll try to give you guys a little, background to some of the rides that are here. We have Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket over here. We have Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon over there. Number one would really be to get familiar with the rides, and that's really why I started this video out by kind of just breaking down each park and giving you an idea of like which park might be the worst when it comes to motion sickness, right? But understanding the rides, I would say go and we have a ride blog on our website, The Park Prodigy. Go take a look. Just get familiar with the rides and like what they're like. So then if you see that there's motion, there's motion simulator screens, you can avoid those rides. And again, if you're prone to motion sickness, just avoid the ride altogether. The one ride I would say do not touch, okay? I don't care if you're like in the middle, and some rides you're okay, some rides you're not, and you're gonna tough it out here on your trip. If you have any sort of motion sickness, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, just don't go on that ride. I'm telling you, I know I'm laughing, but this is serious stuff. I have gone on that ride. I've been on it multiple times, but there are times when I've gone on that ride and it has completely messed my entire day up. Haven't felt good, for the rest of the day. It is that bad when it comes to motion sickness. So yes, that is the one ride I would say by far to avoid, and if you stick around, we are going to break down all of the rides that I would say to avoid just from my personal experience. All right, so number 2 on how to have an amazing time at Universal without getting motion sickness. Now this one, go and speak with your doctor. However, see if they would recommend maybe some over-the-counter medication that might help when it comes to motion sickness. Now this is just me, but I personally do take Dramamine, and I do find that it does help while in the parks. I'm not recommending it. That is just what works for me, but this is another very big one that can help you. Another thing that I actually saw online for families that might like natural remedies is everyone says ginger. I have not tried that, but they say ginger is another very, very big one when it comes to helping with motion sickness. All right, so another very, very important tip and trick when trying to avoid motion sickness here at Universal Orlando. And another one that I read online is to stay hydrated. So of course, this is important no matter what, really, when you're coming to visit Florida, especially in those hot Florida summer days. But staying hydrated could actually help you, avoid getting motion sickness. Now, another one, and you'd have to really time this right, would be eating throughout the day, making sure your body has energy, right? Probably don't want to eat right before you go onto one of the rides, but making sure that you're doing the right thing and you are taking care of yourself is very, very important. The next tip and trick on how to avoid motion sickness here at Universal Orlando, kind of tying into staying hydrated, right, or dealing with the unpredictable Florida weather, I would say dress comfortably, right? Now, this is not only going to be important in the hot summer days, right, where you don't want to be overheating, because anytime you're overheating or anything like that, you're just going to feel that much worse, and then of course prone to motion sickness, just going to be that much worse. But also think about if you're coming in like anytime from November through February, it can be a little chilly, and it's kind of the same concept. Like if your body is worn down or you're shivering, stuff like that, you're not going to feel right. So be prepared for the weather. So for this next one, I actually hopped over to Diagon Alley, and the reason why I'm over here is this is actually one of the rides that I kind of figured this out on, which is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Now, if you are prone to motion sickness, one of the things that I personally will do is when I feel it coming on, especially if I'm on a ride like that, I will look down at the track. So instead of looking at the screen itself, I'm trying to now follow the track, and I'm getting my eyes off of that screen and kind of now focusing on like where my body is moving. So this is one of them that I always do this on, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Another one that I do this on a lot is over in Disney World, Guardians of the Galaxy over in Epcot. So that's just another good one if you are prone to motion sickness. All right, so now kind of, again, sticking with the premise of you still can have a great time even if you are prone to motion sickness. Another big tip and trick or thing to just know coming into your vacation is, of course, Universal Orlando does have a bunch of shows that you can enjoy, even if you are prone to motion sickness. So the most popular shows are going to be Animal Actors on Location, Celestina Warback and the Banshees, The Tale of Beetle and the Bard, the Blues Brothers Show, which is going to be in the street, Universal's musical street shows, Universal Orlando's horror makeup show, the Tri-Wizard Spirit Rally, the Frog Choir, Oh, the Stories You'll Hear, and the Mystic Fountain. I don't think that's really a show, but it made it onto the list anyway. You can go enjoy that. The one show that's very, very popular, and I believe I already spoke about this in this video, is going to be the Bourne Stuntacular. I would say it's 50-50. I personally do not get motion sickness on the show. I think it's by far the best show here in Universal Orlando, but the only thing about it is it does have some screens that, again, can give you that feeling of like moving without moving. So just keep that in mind as I'm moving backwards, probably bump into something pretty soon, but there's a lot of noises going on here. But yes, there's a ton of shows. You could still have a great time if you're prone to motion sickness. Okay, so now the reason why you are all here, we are going to rank the rides, the worst rides if you're prone to motion sickness here in Universal Orlando. So this list is really going to be, in my honest opinion, in my ranking from, worst ride for motion sickness down, and then we'll also do a list of the best rides if you're prone to motion sickness, best rides to go on. But in my opinion, I'm going to go with Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, like I said, at number 1, The Simpsons ride at number 2, Transformers the ride 4D, right behind me, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, Fast and the Furious, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, Skull Island, Reign of Kong, and then Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem. So that is pretty much the list of the worst rides if you're prone to motion sickness. Okay, so not included on the list of rides that are, bad rides to avoid when you're prone to motion sickness was a lot of the coasters, right? So when ranking the roller coasters, essentially the order I would go in would be Jurassic World Velocicoaster, The Incredible Hulk Coaster, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, Revenge of the Mummy, and then Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. probably can swap like Revenge of the Mummy and Hagrid's, but those are the coasters, if you're prone to motion sickness, you might want to keep an eye on. So then some of the things that it's also important to keep an eye on are, there are some rides that like might not be as obvious. So Men in Black is one of the rides, because it's not going to be the entire ride where you might get motion sickness, but if you've been on that ride, you know there's one part where they just start like spinning you around. And you know, you probably might feel a little woozy. Another one of them is going to be the Storm Force Acceleration, which is over in Islands of Adventure. And then again, the show, the Bourne Stuntacular, it's hit or miss. I don't know, I personally do not get motion sickness, but I just know the layout of that show with the moving screens. So I would just definitely keep an eye on it. All right, so now we've spoken a lot about really what to avoid, or ways to avoid motion sickness, but now here are some of the other things that you really can enjoy. Here are the best rides you should go on to enjoy your day here at Universal Orlando. So in at number 1, and then again, this is just my ranking, I do have the Hogwarts Express. In at 2, I have E.T. Adventure. In at 3, I have Cat in the Hat. 4, Jurassic Park River Adventure Ride. 5, Minion Con, Minion Blast. Not really crazy about this ride, but you probably won't get motion sickness on it. Over at 6, I think we're up to High in the Sky Seuss Trolley. We have Dudley Do-Ripe's Ripstraw Falls. You are going to get wet on that ride. And then, of course, we have Flight of the Hippogriff. Next, we'll probably talk about some shows, but that is the list of rides that you will want to go and check out. All right, so that is it. That is the complete guide to avoiding motion sickness while here at Universal Orlando Resort. I really, really hope you found this video helpful. I hope that you learned a thing or two, and I hope you are as prepared as possible to have the most amazing time possible here in the parks, even if you are prone to motion sickness. And of course, as a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, if you are in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip and you do need a little additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. And I do have a special promo code you can go use on that website, and that is going to be YouTube25. You'll get an extra $25 off some discounted multi-day Universal Orlando theme park tickets or Universal Orlando vacation packages. We would love to help you out. Whatever we can do to help you, just let me know. But as always, thank you all so much for checking us out. Thank you for sticking around. It's a Sunday. I'm going to go enjoy myself in the parks. I hope you guys do the same, whatever day, whatever year, whatever it is when you watch this video. Hope you guys have a great day.